Okay, now we're back at it. First biggest mistake, second biggest mistake was content creation and doing it subpar. Like you might go and say, well, other companies do subpar content creation, but those companies probably have a lot more money to spend, a lot more time, and they can spend a lot more money to do marketing, as what we're going to talk about in a second. So if you don't have that money and you're just a startup and you've only got a little bit of money, you need to have top of the line content no matter what. And our biggest thing is when we're doing it ourselves, unless you're a photographer yourself, you're never going to be good as a photographer, if that makes sense. Unless that's what you want to do and you're continually learning about photography, you're taking photos at least once or twice a week or whatever photographers do, you're not going to be photographers, so you're never going to be able to produce as much great content as photographers. Same with videographers. Like, videographing is hard to fucking do. So we pay both videographers and photographers, but we've got enough money now that we can start giving out that work. So you can do it yourself, but you just have to make it not subpar. Finally, this bad boy, which is what we started talking about. So originally we started with a guy called Gabby in Transylvania, which is pretty cool, Romania. And he was actually really good. He taught us a little bit about the data and how Ads Manager works and how the algorithm works and all the AI works for Facebook Ads Manager. I can see where he would have been very helpful in pushing if we did all the content creation and all the copy, which is what we do now, and gave that to him, he would know where to put it. But to begin with, we wanted to find an advertiser or a marketer that pretty much a digital strategist that looked after all of that shit. So here's our first one. He was only like $500 a month, US, which is amazing. You won't find that much anywhere. The second company we went with was another company, Rocket Conversions, which they were actually pretty good. We actually liked being with them, but we just felt, again, if you don't know something about something and you see other people blowing up, you start going, that's not my fault. That's these people who know what they're doing. That's their fault. But no. It's always your fucking fault. If you're fucking up somewhere in life, in business, in anything, it's always your fault. If somebody cuts you off, it's your fault for being there. You know what I mean? You can't start blaming everybody else for your shitty situation. And we're not doing a life motivation shit today. Let's just move on. So we were doing, I think we did $20,000 for a month. The first month we used them, or the second month we used them, because it does take a little bit of time to get your ads manager up and running. But the ad fees were, again, they were tremendous. They were like, I think we ended up spending like $10,000 or something with them before earning money, and then that other $10,000 was to catch up in cogs, and then we ended up only doing like a profit of $1,000. And when you're doing 20 grand a month and you're only profiting $1,000 on a small scale, it's 100% not worth it, unless you're going to look at that and go, okay, but if I do $200,000 a month in 2 years time and earn 10 grand for that month, that's when it's worth it. But when you're a small company, you got to keep your profits higher and your expenses lower. Otherwise, you're just not going to get ahead real quick, or it's going to take you a damn long time, and you're going to get disheartened and unmotivated. So, which is again what we've done heaps, but we're at a point. I've had a business before, and I understand how it works, and we're at a point where we don't want to give up. We both believe in this company. We love doing this shit. It's just disheartening and unmotivating when you're not doing as well as what you've seen other people come from at the same time doing. You're like, that should be fucking me. But they might not have made as many mistakes as us. But we're getting there. Back on track. So they were doing quite well, but then we started talking to another company called, again, I'm going to do a name drop here because anybody with a small business I don't think should be doing this, Top Tier Marketing on the Gold Coast. Originally, we were paying, I think it was like $600 or something like that, and they set up our ads. They looked at our ads once or twice a week, which we don't know if that happened. They set up the copy, they set up the content, they set up everything. So they literally did everything for $600 for the week or the fortnight, depending how often you wanted to speak to them again. And we're like, yeah, that's cool. But we also said to begin with that we wanted to go on their top tier thing where we spend, I think it was $5 grand a month, and we're doing $3,000 to $5,000 in ad spend a month, because that's when we knew that we were going to be at the top of their customer base, so they'll put more time and effort into us, because we know how businesses work. Anyway, 2 weeks went by, tried to get in hold of them. They were giving us shitty answers to our questions that didn't really make sense to us. Another week went by. We paid the other $600 for them to go over again. Nothing much was changed, and now we know why. And then we ended up trying to get a hold of them. They wouldn't pick up, they wouldn't email, and then they finally emailed us back, and get this, they said, oh, we've got the perfect solution for your issue at the moment. And it was saying that for the same price, plus $100, we'll spend an hour on the phone with you and tell you how to do it. So it literally wiped out them doing anything other than being on the phone to us, and then we had to do everything for an extra $100. I was ropeable. I was furious. But anyway, that's another story. One of their digital strategists called us up and apologized, but still we wasted X amount of dollars on ads and agency fees. And then the biggest fuck around for us of everything was this company called FirstPage. So this company called FirstPage down in Melbourne, another ad agency. We called them up, went through meetings with them, did a few Skypes with like six other people in their company. We're like, we need to get to $40,000 within the next 3 months. They're like, yep, we can 100% do that. Here's the ad spend that you're going to need to be spending. Here's our agency fees. We're like, yeah, this is all cool, sweet, because we had a little bit of money still because we both earned a decent amount of wages, and we started seeing some money back from the clothing label. And then took them a month to get all the creatives done, which is, we do it in a day ourselves. The copy was trash. Like, it was just cringy. It was terrible. Like, we went through, a whole month of getting creatives, and then we ended up stupidly again going, okay, these guys are a multi-million-dollar company. They know what they're talking about. They had their copy, which was one of them was like, grab your favorite sweater and head to the front door, street style. And all I could picture in my head was like going to my cupboard, going like this, putting the sweater over my style, walking over the door and going, street style. And I was like, if I'm picturing that, our customers are going to be picturing that. And if any of you have seen our brand, it's kind of more of a street functional brand. It's shit. Definitely not what we wanted to be portrayed as. So yeah, it took a month for them to get creatives. We're like, they're all shit copy, like it's terrible copy. The graphics are copy. The graphics are shit. Everything's shit. Like, we hated everything. We did not want to do it, but we've just wasted $6,000. Okay, funny enough, I just seen that you can't read this shit. So I'm going to zoom in and out on certain parts that I speak about, and probably only do this real quick. Homer. Because you can't see anything else. So that was a waste of fucking time. Alright, but you can probably see Homer. And if you can't, it's probably the best Homer you'll ever see. So I'm just going to zoom in and out on this. Anyway, let's go all ahead because this is going to be long as fuck. I'm going to do a part 2 series on this. Okay, we just started talking about took a month to get our ads out. Blah, 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 blah. $200. $200 in the first month. Back and forth, telling them what they're doing is shit. Not believing in ourselves to say that maybe they know better for our brand. They fucking didn't. Nobody does except for you. Yes, you can learn from different people's strategies and everything, but if your ads don't portray what your brand is, you will never grow a following that's wanting to be a part of your brand. You'll be doing the one-off sales of, oh yeah, that shirt's cool, let's get it. That's it. Because nobody wants to be a cringy part of a cringy brand that doesn't represent anything. And what we represent as Alpha Fortis is being the best you. 1, creating better habits to be a better you, and just striving for the best of your own personal life, whatever that may be. It could be a family, it could be anything. It's whatever you determine success is what we want to help you get to by helping with confidence, eventually habits, which is super interesting, and I reckon it's gonna be fucking the best. But anyway, that's down the track. Anyway, let's get back onto this. $200. We had an argument saying we wanted our money back. They said if we can't make you 20% more than your last month, or something ridiculously stupid, making 20% more than what we made you last month, then we'll give you your money back. Do you know what 20% of $200 is? $40. Do you know what $40 is? We don't even have a 40. Oh yeah, our stuff on sales. These untethered shorts, which I think was this. Buy now, $40. About to go on sale. These have been with us for a year now. So this is $40. If they can't sell this more than what they sold last month, which was fuck all, we get our money back. Oh yeah, that's a great deal. We'll still spend $8,000. And then they also said, sorry, this was their actual other claimant. They said, if we don't get you to the 20% more than what we've already done, we'll work for free until we do. They promised us $40,000 within 3 months to get. Now they're offering us $240, or they work for free. Anyway, ridiculous. That was our last straw. That was stick a finger in me bum, I'm no one's mum. Was the last straw, right? So now we're doing it all ourselves. It's taken us a little bit to get to the point where we were, because we did sell out of a lot of items, but it was over a cumulative amount of time. And when you have a clothing label, you can't have one, depending on the quality, depending how you're doing it. Some people print their labels on things. We do everything customized, right? So we do our own tech packs like this that I showed you before. We do our own designs. We get, Marnie's a artist, I guess. She does most of our drawings. Sometimes we get people off Upworks to do the drawings, but we tell them what we want and the style we want, and then we go through that. So we do absolutely everything customized. We try to find the best fabrics. We try create new designs, like these raw shorts. I'll just show you a picture right here. Drop crotch, you don't see much of that. So we're trying to innovate the space to be what we like in streetwear, but we're both fitness freaks, so we try and incorporate the most functional style that can be put onto that product. Like this suede tee that we've almost sold out of. Not functional at all, but it's got an athletic fit. You could train in it if you wanted to. It's just super hot, so if you love to sweat, do it. I'm not here to sell you my products. I'm here to teach you what not to do. So when you first start advertising through Ads Manager, it's very intimidating. There are so many audiences you can use, and that's on any platform. And then there's so many different strategies that you can put into place for this top funnel, medium funnel, and bottom funnel. It's testing. It's hard. Like I'm not gonna shit ya. I'm not gonna talk shit. It's hard. We're still learning almost every day on how to optimize our ads. And we're learning. We're looking at. Marnie's done a course on it. I'm gonna do the same course just so we're on the same level of knowledge. We're reading blogs, we're looking up YouTube, because all the information that these agencies have got, they've got from somewhere. Like they might have some internal strategies that they use, but I can almost 100% guarantee those internal strategies are on the internet, or you can find them elsewhere. Even the agencies that you go to have their own blogs, their own videos, their own courses, everything. So instead of just going and paying this ridiculous amount of agency fees, by the way, if you start earning a certain amount, and say you're going from $3,000 a month ad spend to $30,000 a month, they'll either take a commission per ad spend, or they'll just increase their agency fees to go up with the ad spend. Even though they're doing not the exact same stuff, but essentially the same things. So if you're gonna go and spend $60,000 a year on agency fees alone, this is where we got to it. You either do it yourself when you're a small company, because $60,000 is not a lot of money for a lot of people. I mean, it is a lot of money for a lot of people, especially if you're in a small company. You want to save everything. Or hire someone in-house that you only talk to every now and again, but that person's hard to find. In-house is obviously the way to go, because then they represent your brand more than anybody else will other than yourself. So now that we've learned how to do all this ad stuff, and it's took us a bit, like again, we were getting on a high, boom, straight back to a low, because we promised bad promises that weren't kept. And now that we're doing ourselves, we're total transparency here, doing roughly $3,000 a week in sales with about $1,000 ad spend. So that's a 1 to 3 ROAS, and that's average across your top of funnel, medium funnel, and bottom of funnel. 1 to 3 ROAS is just above industry standard. Your top of funnel will get like you want to either break even or go like a 2 to 1 ROAS, because the top of funnel is your broad audience, right? and there's new strategies where you can literally go, I'm only selling to Australia, male, female, ages 18 to 45. That's your audience, and then that'll just keep learning over time. You can put more and more money on it if you want to, and then that, hopefully, what we believe at the moment, will get you to a point of having not the perfect algorithm, but the algorithm that's out of learning phase and selling a lot of things. When you get to a learning limited, I'll run you a little bit through Ads Manager here. See where it says learning limited? Where it says learning limited, it means your progress or sales is always going to be unstable. Because the algorithm that Facebook uses, you need to get 50 sales a week. And if it's a $50 product and you need to get 50 sales a week to get out of any of these campaigns, that's at least $2,500 you're making a week from one campaign to get it out of the learning limited phase. So then you can see how you need to spend more money to get out of these phases to optimize these accounts. But you can stay in the learning limited phase, it's not that bad. So we went from doing $200 with a multi-million-dollar company a month, spending $5,000 on agency fees, dead money, to now not spending the $5,000 a month. Last month we did just over $10,000, I think it was, or it was like $9,500, doing it all ourselves. Less ad spend, less agency fees, more money for us. Now, again, I told you I'm going to have to do a part 2 because this is super long. But these are our biggest mistakes that if you're a small business owner, that I think you should really, even if you're doing a full-time job and it's going to take you a little bit longer to get to that point, research the absolute cock out of how to do ads, whether that's UGC, influencer marketing, UGC content, user-generated content, TikTok, Google, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. Do not, unless you've got a lot of money again, do not use a middleman to talk to factories. It's literally as easy as messaging your best mate on Alibaba and saying, hey, here's a photo or a tech pack. There's a company called Tech Packer. I'll put all these things in the description below. I think it's like $50 US a month or something, and you can literally create your own tech packs, inspiration, measurements, flat lays, all that stuff to the T, to the millimeter. You can send that tech pack to China. They get it manufactured for you. You get samples, pick the best one, they bulk it. That's it. That's all you got to do. So do not fall for these people saying it's super easy to start a business, clothing label, because it is easy to build a clothing label, but quality is key, 100%. As 90% of companies now have high quality items, all right? And if you're trying to be the company that is only differentiating on quality, saying you're the best quality, unless you have a big name like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, or your products are like Off-White, you see Gucci products and stuff, it's a shirt with a label on it, that's it. That's not higher quality, it's just you're paying for the brand. So quality should never be your differentiating point, because everybody has high quality these days. And if they don't, they won't last long in the industry, or they're making their money on a different scale, which is like, I don't want to shoot out names, but Act, anybody you speak to about Act is a lower quality, but their stuff used to be super cheap. So however much profit they were making was probably a smaller amount of profit, or they were spending less on clothes, which you can do. You can get cheaper stuff made, stock prices, everything like that, for a cheaper amount, and then you can also purchase more to lower that cost. But it's literally go to Alibaba, look for a supplier, talk to them, that's it. That's with jewelry, everything, absolutely everything. You do not need a middleman. Content is key 100% of the time. You look at all the top YouTubers, Logan Paul, Jay Paul, Christian Guzman, Max Tuning, all their content, when you watch their vlogs, they shit all over these vlogs, but I'm just starting. But their content for their brands is always top of the line. And when they start bringing out more and more items, they've already got the influence backing them to sell more easily. Where if you're just a person like me, where you don't have a massive influence and you're trying to grow and grow and grow, you need to take all these things into account. Learn marketing strategies, because it's easy to start making a profit. And 100%, it's easy to start making a profit. You just have to learn a lot about something. To make more of a profit, that's when it gets harder. To optimize your ads in different ways, it gets harder and harder to try and be better than the rest. But we're only at the starting point of 4 weeks of delving into like actual learning how to ads, and we're turning a decent profit. So you do not need this. When you start, these guys make it sound really good to just go give them $5,000 a month and that will grow your brand. It's not always the case. There could be some lucky ones. There could be ones that have money to just keep forking that out because it's a long game. Same with us, it's a long game. The more data you have on your ads account, the easier it is for Facebook to utilize that data to send it to the right people. But again, you can do it yourself. They did it themselves. They just did it so good that they could start their own company doing it. But that doesn't always mean that since their company is really good, the digital strategist that they put with you is going to be just as good as the owner. You don't need this. You don't need this. This is key. Those are the three main, I guess, contributions to your own company to growth, other than being relevant all the time, and Homer. Homer's the fourth contribution. Anyway, this is going to be super long. I don't know if I'm going to do it in a part 2 series. This is literally what I have learned from all my years in business, in everything. It's just, this is not needed. If we had that, or even that initial $180,000 today, we would be doing $1 million a year. Hands down, no shitting you, $1 million a year. Now that we've burnt all that, and we're only scrap feeding what we can afford on top of our wages, which is a little bit, but we still have bills, and we don't have 140 grand just sitting there just to go, yep, buy me X amount of product, put this much amount on advertising. We don't have that anymore. If we did it ourselves and weren't so ignorant, we would be making $1 million a year. Both be just working on Alpha Fortis, no other job, that's it. But we're ignorant and saying other people can do it better than us. We don't have the time. And now look at us now. We both work full-time jobs, busier than ever, doing everything other than taking photos, but we go model, and doing the videos. We do everything ourselves. This is Josh Hall, business, mogul, entrepreneur, Homer drawing, signing out. I hope this helps you, and I hope you fucking get successful as fuck one day. Love you all. Peace.